everybody. Welcome once again to Apostolic Children's Ministry Podcast. This is a Wednesday night. We're recording our weekly podcast, and we have, I think, we're like 15 in a row right now.
Wow.
I didn't count.
Impressive.
I'm guessing. So that could be off by a factor of like 5 or 10. I don't know.
Could be 5 in a row.
It could be 5 in a row. It might have been 1 in a row.
Did we do one last week?
We did. We did it remotely.
Oh,
We did.
That's
So we actually had one through it's called Riverside FM. It's a remote where you can connect with people wherever they're at, and it was definitely challenging. We had some technical difficulties. Bree's phone just went bonkers and started feeding back like crazy halfway through.
Didn't Julian go missing?
Yes, in fact, I said, "Hey, Julian, why don't you just talk to everybody and show them that you're alive?" And then it was dead air, and we're like, "Oh, that's awkward. We have no way of knowing if Julian's actually alive right now."
Oh, don't worry, he's a fireman. We're safe.
Yeah, he is in fact alive.
Yeah, he's in fact constantly in dangerous situations. There's nothing to worry about. I'm sure he's fine.
We're okay.
So, so we're getting not back on track, but back in the live sessions. And so we have Sister Leaya with us once again. We're always happy she's here.
Hello.
And we have
Tristan.
Tristan's here, and I'm here. So we have a different crew as far as like we're missing some of the regulars, Brother Danny,
So
Sister
sad.
Bree.
Yes.
So I'm sure we'll be tagging them in with regularity, I hope. But we'll see where that goes. But I wasn't here Sunday, guys. I'm sorry. So I am an outsider looking in on this last week, and I was gone for Thanksgiving.
We're not going to say that's like a couple weeks in a row. No, we're not going to say that.
No. I was here I was here for Thanksgiving
you're
Sunday.
Right. You were.
Before that.
Okay. Sorry.
Hey, listen, I am here until January. No.
What?
I'm not traveling anywhere till January.
Get you that often?
That's impressive.
Stop it.
It's like revival services.
Ay. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. Let's recap last Sunday. And again, I'm the outside observer. And I'm going to be asking a lot of questions because I have genuine questions. Because I heard it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot
It's
of
always
fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's always a lot of fun. But I heard even more whispers of, boy, that this different thing that happened during Sunday school was exceptionally funny or stood
I
out.
will say the kids felt more engaged.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There
wonderful.
was definitely less like chaos.
I know
Yes.
you guys had way less kids. I mean, you only had 116.
I was going to say we had over
I'm
100
kidding. That's still a ridiculous number.
Yeah.
But it's about 15 less than we've had for the last couple of Sundays.
Right.
But let's go into bus ministry. So we have had really good numbers, but we did see a small drop.
Yeah.
And if you're in bus ministry and that discourages you, you have to just get over that because you will have a cycle, especially during holidays. This is the week after Thanksgiving. You're going to see a drop. It's just part of the process. So what numbers did we have last week?
So for our overall, the total was 93 kids. Then for Red specifically,
93 riders.
93 riders.
So those are a mix of adults and kids.
Yeah.
Why I said
Yes.
that way. We have whole families coming.
Yeah. And then so Red had 14, Green had 17, Blue had 16, Orange had 27, and Yellow had 19.
Okay, so yellow's incredible.
Yeah. So ever since they started splitting it and going Yellow 1 and Yellow 2, it's been really good.
That sounds like Bible quizzing right there. Yellow
Yes.
1, yellow 2, red 1, red 2.
Yeah.
Green, I don't know where we fit in that analogy, but anyway.
They're coming.
You know what's
They're
funny?
coming, that's right.
Didn't Red actually split up too?
It did.
So
That's why I
it's
said
actually-
that.
so
Yellow
yeah.
one, red.
We had a whole
Yeah.
Bible believing team.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
So we had less. Again, after Thanksgiving, that's not anything to worry about, but we are going to make sure that we're not lightening up during the holidays. In fact,
Right.
that's our topic this coming Sunday is the true meaning of Christmas. I'm sorry. I'm getting my wires
That's
crossed.
2 weeks from
2
now.
weeks ago, we did the true meaning.
That was
not
keeping
true
Jesus
meaning,
even in the
keeping
holidays.
Jesus first.
Yeah, you're making me nervous.
Yeah. Okay.
It was 2 weeks ago. We did
That's 2 weeks
keeping
from now.
Jesus first, even in the holidays, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that is correct.
Then last week we did Thanksgiving because it was,
Yes.
or the weekend before. This week is the
Teamwork and unity.
No,
Well,
the last week was teamwork. This week is the
one-
Beatitudes.
Yes.
And then we're going into the true meaning of Christmas and then a birthday party for Christmas.
Yes.
This is from memory, so we don't have it in front of us. So we're trying to. I'm pretty sure that's
I
correct.
think so.
You got it
As
right
I
that
remember,
time.
yeah.
You got it right.
It only took me 3 tries.
You said true meaning of Christmas next, and I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta re-prepare, you mean? Wait a minute.
No, whatever you guys had is right. My memory is the thing that's failing. So we talked about teamwork, unity. Wait, I was going somewhere with that. About keeping Jesus first during the holidays. So there's a risk, if you're not careful, of lightening up your outreach, especially for bus ministry. Sometimes in Sunday school, the focus can get off of keeping the momentum of the number of kids and the focus of the kids in the classroom and having good altar calls, because it's a fun time of year and there's a lot of stuff to distract us.
Right, a lot of stuff.
And it's all good stuff. It's nothing that I regret focusing on. Time with family and Christmas concerts and light festivals here at the church, and it's a neat time. But we also don't want to have our bus routes drop to 10% and have to rebuild in January. That would be ridiculous. So
I found that getting to know your kids, your riders, the people on your bus, the parents, building a relationship, a friendship helps a lot, because then we're gone here this weekend, we'll be back here. You build that relationship and when they're going to be gone, when they're going to be back, and you expect these things to happen. You see it coming ahead, so you're not shocked when you lose, like we did, 13 last week off of something like that. You're not surprised because hey, this kid's here, they're here. It's the holidays, it's going to happen.
I love what you said about relationships. That is where the most effective form of ministry happens. It's not just picking up a child from a street, a number in the classroom. You have a relationship with that family. And I'm watching it in all these different routes, but I saw it tonight especially because on Orange route, that's why Bree's not here, because she picked up some families or some parents off her route, brought them to church tonight. By the way, I saw them in the altar crying and praying in the altar. And it was just a teaching service, a Wednesday is more of a Bible study type, less evangelistic, more of a, feed the church type of service is how pastor generally wants that service to go. But we did can you talk to our mad drummer again? Just be very, very sweet, but just ask them if they can practice another time. Where was I? Oh, and so while we can kind of not yawn through those at all. I mean, he preached an incredible message, but they're so affected because they're feeling something they've never felt.
It's beautiful.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
And he's talking right to them just as well as he's talking to the church. So it's really neat to see that.
It was by no means an evangelistic message. It wasn't intended to be, but it was.
I was like, but it reached to their heart. I mean,
it did. It's incredible how God does that.
I'm not telling anybody to go listen, but...
Hold on, what? Oh, well, tell them if they got to do that. No. Yeah, tell them if they got to test, they got to test. That's part of it. Okay, so there was some dead air there. You probably guys are wondering what on earth happened. We do a raw and unedited podcast. We were going to take a bizarre pride in that.
We are raw and unfiltered.
We are. And so someone is playing the drums in the next room. And so we went out to ask them to, not join our podcast through drum. And apparently they're testing the sound system. So we might hear some weird stuff. I don't even care. I just hope we can still communicate to you guys. I'm sorry.
We're good.
All right. But yes, fabulous. So we picked up 93.
Yes.
Brought them to Sunday school. We taught on unity, teamwork.
Teamwork and unity.
Yep.
I wasn't here, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Okay. Did everybody show up on time? All the routes. And I'm not picking on anybody.
Yes,
we did.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I think Orange was actually back a little bit before.
Yes, Orange was.
So I want to make it clear. We
back.
pick on Orange just because it's low hanging fruit. It's fun, right? We're just messing with them. But they pick up the most kids. And they're the second farthest away. So if anybody has an excuse, it's them. So I promise you.
And they leave earlier than everybody else.
They leave before the meeting even finishes. I mean, they do everything they can. So when we give them a hard time, It's just us having fun with our friends. Okay.
Yeah.
We are not out to get orange. They are fabulous. Okay. So the fact that they're back on time, they've split their route. They have multiple vehicles picking up multiple places, multiple drivers. It's more complex. It's more complicated, but man, they're doing a great job. So they all got back on time.
They
Yes.
were all
Everyone was back. Like, I think even most of the kids were done eating breakfast by the time Sunday school was starting.
Did we have a jumper up today, last week? I don't
know. I
I
wasn't
doubt
outside.
we did.
That I couldn't because I couldn't tell you because I was inside with the girls doing songs.
The reason I'm saying I doubt we did because last or the Thanksgiving Sunday they blew a hole in the jumper.
No.
Yeah, they said it was a pretty decent size, so I ordered a patch, but it hasn't come in yet. So if it was out, I'm just curious if it survived.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I went straight inside.
I talked to Kevin, so I don't think he did.
When I went and called the kids in, like to round them up for Sunday school, there was very few outside the 5 minutes before class started.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long to round them all up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, and we chased a lot of rabbit trails, but I do want to say one thing about consistent people that are kind of hidden in the shadows sometimes. We have a couple people I want to mention in our Sunday school. One of them is Kevin Sandoval. He sets up our jumper outside every Sunday and puts it away. Nobody ever sees him do it. Nobody says anything to him. Nobody asks him about it. Nobody congratulates him. Nobody really says much of anything except when it's not there.
Right.
It's like a good sound man, right? You only notice him when they're doing a bad job, right? Yeah. So you only notice Kevin's work when when he's sick or something, right?
There's no jumper. There's no this.
But it doesn't happen that often. But what an incredible job. And people like him are so vital to a working ministry like Balti Lozano.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Especially during, like, in the middle of Sunday school when all of us teachers can't be out there.
It can be easy to overlook what he does. He's our we call him security. He's the least intimidating person as far as like his personality. He's the sweetest guy ever. I mean, he could be firm if he needs to be.
Yeah. Right.
But he's just one of the sweetest, easygoing guys ever.
Yeah.
But he's there every Sunday, and he's done it for years.
Well, it makes a big difference. He helps kind of keep things together.
Yeah.
Yep.
He helps like getting the kids into their classes and keeping them in their classes.
What's incredible to me about Balti is I think it was probably 2 years ago, I just explained the situation. Hey, Brother Balti, we need someone outside that's just making sure everybody's where they should be, especially during class, because the teachers are in our class, and if someone slips out and we don't notice it, there's nobody there to run interference, right? Just to keep an eye on the property, make sure nobody's being where they're not supposed to be. That was 2 years ago. I have never had to ask him hey, I've noticed you haven't been there for a few months. No, he's always there.
He's consistently
and if
there.
he's not, he'll text me, hey, I can't make it this Sunday because of this.
Right.
And that's a handful of time. Like I can count on one hand how many Sundays he's missed in 2 years. It's
and the
unbelievable.
kids know him. They're used to him now. They're comfortable with him. They know he's there to kind of help keep the peace.
Absolutely. But it's easy to overlook because they're always there and they do such a fabulous job. Sarah Torado at our church side check-in is easy to overlook. And before it was Valerie and Nicole Rowell, and they were there every week. We never thought about it.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't say anything. And that's on me. Like I really have notes to do better to make sure that these people are recognized.
Yeah.
The other check-in, we have the young ladies, Olivia and
Hannah,
Isabella,
Isabella, Caitlin,
Michelle Chacon.
Victoria.
Whole group of them.
Yeah, Victoria. They do such a fabulous job setting up balloon arches and all the stuff they do. But really, the only time we notice it is when it's not there.
Right.
I mean, the only time that it comes to mind, oh, hey, we have it. It's when there's an issue. They're just so consistent. And how about our Sunday school store, Sister Jeanette Lee and Francis Abad?
And that's so special to the kids. They love it.
Yeah.
They do.
And when it's not open, like the kids are so disappointed. But like some of the kids on my bus have even said, like they've said, like, "Oh man, the Sunday school store is not open." I'm like, "Well, you got to make sure they know that you like it when you are there." And so one of the boys, from Green Route, when they opened it after the week that it wasn't open, they ran over there like, "I love this Sunday school store so much."
Oh, that's sweet.
And then like it was just really cool to see them like being able to say that they enjoy this.
Yeah, so the Sunday school store is a place where the kids can bring all of their Sunday school dollars, which they get from a variety of avenues, one for just showing up, one for bringing a Bible, for visitors, for bringing an offering, and discretionary giving. We might give it because they've helped us do something, or we catch someone being good. That's in air quotes.
Yes.
Or maybe we have a game and that's the reward, or it's their birthday and they get $5. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they can spend it in the Sunday school store. And Sister Jeanette Lee, every week, she'll go out and buy all the stuff to restock it.
Yes.
We don't even think about it unless it's
never. I never
not stocked.
think about taking care of it. It's always done.
It's always done. And
She does a great
think,
job.
I think she might be stepping down. I just heard that this week. So we gotta,
Pray for somebody to fill those shoes. That's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
It is. It's an unappreciated position, or it can feel that way probably because enough isn't said about it. But what an important role. Those kids love it.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving we
love
didn't do
it.
it. They asked, do you want us to open it? Sister Lee asked. And I was just thinking about the way the day was going to progress. We had those 5 rotations, and by the time the last rotation's done, we're looking at 11:30, 11:45. And I was like, I don't think so. Well, I don't know how many kids asked me, why isn't it open? They were so sad. In fact, I had a girl off Yellow Route bring me $100 to try to buy my turkey hat.
Oh, no, she showed me her dollars. She's like, I've been saving for 3 years.
3 years.
No
Yeah.
way.
She tried to buy my turkey hat for $100.
You
I
should have
refused.
given it to her.
I'm not taking her money.
No, you just give it to her.
If you had seen the hat, like literally the stuffing's falling out, stuffing turkey. It really was all the
You don't
foam.
accept any money for it. You just give it to her.
I told her, I said, if you bring that, because I told her I wasn't going to be there the next Sunday. If you bring it the following Sunday, that $100, and you still have it, because she was actually 3 short. She had 97.
Okay, because she did bring it the following Sunday. She should have all 100 now.
I said, if you have 100, I said, you won't regret waiting, because she kept saying, I want to buy your hat. I want to buy your hat. So I'm going to buy her a hat, a turkey hat, but not
That's
one,
cute.
not
That's so
the ratty one that I've had forever.
Yeah, that's
I'll get her a
good.
one. And I'm not taking her money for it. All right. So I know we chased a rabbit trail, but there's so many people that make this operation happen that we don't say enough about.
One thing that I know we do notice it, like we have thanked them sometimes, but that I don't think is enough is the breakfast team.
Oh my word.
Absolutely.
The
I was
breakfast
just
team,
going to say that.
There was one Sunday where they didn't do it just because it was a Holy Ghost rally, and it was just really weird. And I remember and it was when it was raining really hard. We only had one bus go out, and so the breakfast team.
It was a hurricane. Yeah, it's supposed to be
that
a
was the
hurricane.
hurricane.
So the breakfast team went up to church, and they just moved on. And me and Erica were like, oh shoot, there's a whole bus and we don't know what to do. So we ran in there, started getting just random cereal, and we were like, I don't know how they do this every week. We were rushing, and then the kids didn't even make it in time. They were walking in late, and I was like, Erica, I don't know how they do this every week.
And
I
there's
give
a
up.
lot of people, so I'm afraid to even start calling names.
Yeah.
But Sister Kim Vasquez has done this for years. In fact, she started the breakfast many years ago, about 10 years ago. She asked if she could do it, and she paid for it out of her own pocket.
That's right.
For the first several years until or I don't know if it was that long, but for quite a while before we begged her, please, sis, you can't keep doing this. She was a single mom,
Right.
trying to just make ends meet, and she was contributing enough, paying for hundreds of kids to eat every Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I don't know if
she
it was
did
that
it,
many.
and God helped her make a way, and the kids
Incredible.
love it.
Yeah. And now there's a whole team, and now it's not just her having to take care of every single week.
Yeah. So my daughter-in-law, Brella, she does a great job. And again, I'm afraid to start mentioning names because I'm going to leave people out. But there are so many that take a Sunday and run with it.
Yeah.
The Castros have started helping in there.
The
We've had
Alvarado.
so
the
many
Alvarados
teams.
did it for a while.
Justina.
Sister Justina. The Lopez
Beatrice
family.
Ernesto has been fabulous. Jessica has been incredible. Anthony helps her. Anyway,
there's just so many
There's
people
so many.
that just take a Sunday and just
Is Alexis in there, Lamelli?
She wasn't there for a long time. She's now on bus. So.
And the Chacones kind of float between the check-in and
Yes.
the kitchen.
it's usually Michelle that's kind of floating, and she usually does
And if anybody listens to this and you were not called, please, we do not overlook
We
your
just have really
contribution.
bad memory.
I got one more. Clara Montoya. She started.
Yes.
So
Thanks,
anyway,
Mama.
thank you guys for everything you do. Somewhat behind the scenes, but the kids sure notice it.
Yeah.
They
They
notice
really
it, and
do.
they would be so brokenhearted if it weren't there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
deal.
become such a big part of Sunday school to them.
And hard. We've seen some of the kids before when they've come late. Oh, teacher, I'm hungry. And I'm like, oh. And sure enough, you in the kitchen, they've got something saved for the kids that were late. They're fabulous.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was a good rabbit trail to go off
Yeah.
on, actually.
We saw the behavior change of the kids too once they started getting breakfast.
Yeah.
A lot of their crazy behavior, I guess, is because they're just really hungry, and they
Right.
I don't think even they knew it.
Yeah.
They didn't understand why they were acting so silly, but we did see a marked difference when we
There's
started
even
feeding
some
them.
kids who like will just like they'll just like be like bouncing off the walls, and then like one of the teachers will go over and be like, "Okay, what's wrong?" And they'll be like, "I'm just hungry." And then you go take them, get them something really small. They go back, and then they're fine.
So if you want to know, the best step to discipline is a bowl of tater tots.
Hey, I mean, that would make.
All right, I'm sorry. So we talked about unity. Hey, that was a good compliment
Yes.
to unity, because it takes a team to make this thing happen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, so Sister Leia, offering and prayer requests. I see that first on the list, and you have been, speaking of people that are consistent doing stuff behind the scenes, you've been doing this for a while now.
A few weeks. When did you?
More than a few weeks. It's been a couple months, probably.
We've got a tree
Yeah.
growing of prayer requests, and we ask the kids every week. They have something to pray for. We're continuously adding new ones, and then offering. It's neat to see what the kids have started to bring for offering, really getting into it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I
Yeah.
liked watching that.
That's awesome. So that happens before class even starts. You're just greeting the kids as they come in.
Just talk to them. We hang out. We play the games together. I get in there with the kids and I play the games. I sing the songs with them.
Yeah.
I want them to feel like not only am I one of their teachers, I want them to know I'm on their side. I'm there for them. I want them to know me as a person. So I get in there and I play with them and hang out with them all the time so
That's
that
so
they
important.
feel connected.
Yeah.
It's so important. Man, we could chase another rabbit trail hard right here. I'm trying to be careful. I really don't want to waste our time. But I have seen a lot of, not a lot, but I have seen teachers that I really don't think they even think about the kids until they're standing in front of them talking.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely don't spend time with them before and after, and that's not here. But I've been that person. And I don't want to ever be that person again where I feel like I don't have a relationship with them outside of the classroom or outside of the time I'm in front of them trying to teach them.
And it seems like that has, if anyone from here has ever felt like that, it's changed a lot, because I think all of our teachers are on bus. So they think about them. They're on outreach midweek. They're on outreach on Saturdays. They're constantly checking in. So it's a lot more. They're a lot more involved with the kids than just on a Sunday to Sunday.
Absolutely. There's a deal that I read, and everywhere I go to talk to churches about training teachers and stuff. I'm going to do this really quick, but there was a seminary where they teach young men and young ladies in these different organizations. This is not an apostolic place, about how to be ministers. And so they set up what they called the Good Samaritan experiment. And these kids didn't know they were being experimented on, but they would go up to them and they would say, hey, you have to go give a talk on the Good Samaritan in front of all your peers in the big chapel or whatever, and you have 5 minutes to prepare. You better hurry. And so this person would just be in a panic, and they would just run as fast as they can and get over there and try to teach their lesson on Good Samaritan. Somebody else, they'd do the same thing, but they give them 30 minutes. Someone else, they give them an hour, and they gave them different time spans. Some of them even up to, hey, in 3 days from now, you're going to be doing this, a week from now. So what they were trying to do is just get them in different levels of, I'll just call it panic. Okay, so they knew they had to give this talk. Well, in between where they were told and in between the giving of the message, they set up a Good Samaritan experiment for that person. Okay, so this person is going to teach a lesson, right? But in between the instruction and the giving of the message, they set up a Good Samaritan situation that person had to encounter. Okay, so they would find somebody laying on the ground, beat up, it was not obviously staged. It looked like this person was bleeding out.
Right.
And so these people are about to talk about the Good Samaritan, and they're literally stepping over the body because they don't have time to deal with it.
Wow.
But they're going to talk to all their peers about how the Good Samaritan stopped and took time, but they were literally stepping over the body, the ones that didn't have much time.
Wow.
But the ones that had time to prepare, they obviously would stop and take the time. So what I do whenever we do these teacher trainings is sometimes we'll be so busy teaching about the love of God that day, and you talk to a kid and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" And the response back is not normal.
Yeah.
They're off, and you know there's something wrong, that I should stop and take the time. But I can't because I'm busy preparing for my lesson about the love of God. So busy I can't show it.
Wow. It makes me want to cry.
But it's a real thing, and I've been that person where I'm too busy to take time to show the kids the very thing I'm trying to teach later on.
I don't want to be too busy.
I don't either, and that's what you do every Sunday morning. I mean, you don't do that. You do the opposite, where you stop and you build relationships with those children before class even starts. You learn their names, you get to know their interests, and you respond to those. That's why on the bus we tell all of our bus workers, if you don't do anything else, I don't care if you make balloons. I mean, I like you to have a thing. You maybe sing songs or be goofy, but if you can't do anything else, you can talk to these kids.
You can talk to them.
Just move around the bus. In fact, that's my big deal. You know it.
Yeah.
If I see any of our bus workers talking to each other, I'm like, break it up, go, scatter.
Right.
Just go talk to the kids. And so they'll just get to know them, build relationships, because that is so important.
It matters.
It does.
Yeah, and I've seen the difference in one of our bus girls specifically. She was always really friendly, would talk to a lot of people. And then one Sunday night, she decided she wanted to come to church. And so me and my dad went to go pick her up. And she came. We went back, we got like a drink on the way home. And then when we were the entire way we were dropping her off, she was seemed so much more animated than when we had picked her up. She was saying all the different songs she wanted to listen to.
Aww.
She even got to the point where she wanted to know this one song, My Lighthouse. She wanted to know who it was by so that she could listen to it at home. So she couldn't remember. So when I went and walked her up to her door, she told her mom that she wanted her mom to write it down so that she wouldn't forget it and she could listen to it. And now every time I see her, she gives me a hug, and then she tells me that she wants to listen to My Lighthouse. And so even when because I was in charge of, I was doing songs this week on the bus, I was like, "Hey, do you guys know what song do you guys want to listen to?" And she was like, "My Lighthouse." And I was like, "You really like that song, don't you?" And she was like, "Yeah, I listen to it a lot. I know every word now."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so cool.
That's awesome. So while you're doing the offering and prayer request, they are doing a pre-class dead air filler, we call it, or icebreaker, or just welcome to class, just something to keep the kids entertained, because if we don't entertain them, they will entertain themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, they
and
will.
so you guys did.
That was me and Natalia. We just did a bunch of different songs. We just went from song to song. We probably did 10 songs just
action
back
songs?
to back. Yeah.
Which was kind of cool, because usually we do a game or whatever, but I feel like it might have helped get their wiggles a little
because
bit more
we
this
did
week.
we did Shackles, we did Hine Matov, we did so many songs that would you're using your whole body, you're gonna get all your energy out. And we just kept going. We stopped I think once because she was doing the memory, the prayer request, so she asked for prayer requests really quick. Then we went right back into it. And it was a lot, but it was a lot of fun.
Wow. So that dead air filler time, we want it to be changed up. If it's always the same thing, no matter how fun it is, and again, but at those teacher trainings, it's like, I don't care how good you did that Sunday, if you did that same thing every week, it would get old quick.
Yeah.
So even if you do the jumbo cup stacking, which we do a lot, if we did it every Sunday, eventually there'd be a few that would still enjoy it. But for the most part, the others are checked out.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we were literally because me and Tally walked in, we weren't supposed to do it, but then we were like, oh shoot, no one's in here. So we just started going for it. And then me and Tally were like, what in the world do? We don't know what to do. And the kids were like, no cup stacking. And I was like, okay, no cup stacking. I was like, what if we just do songs? And just anything, no cup stacking. And I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Be ready in season.
That's why in the description on our schedule, it says this can be very simple. Anything so kids aren't entertaining themselves. Try to be creative and not do the same thing each week. but sometimes it's easy to default.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not picking, I promise. Okay, so creative intro. What did Brother Ruben Lamelli do?
So Brother Ruben and I came in talking about how excited we were to talk about that theme on Sunday. And I was so excited to talk about Esther and talk about the Queen Esther. And I was like, she's beautiful and she's intelligent and she was a wonderful queen. And he's like, that's not what we're talking about. I'm like, yes, it is. And he said, no, we're talking about faithfulness. And I said, Brother Ruben, it's okay to be wrong sometimes. Like, so we were kind of having a little tiff and a little argument with each other about what we were learning that Sunday. And then Bree comes to the rescue and reminds both of us that it's not about either one of those topics. It's about unity and teamwork. And then she cracked me up because she goes, oh, you guys were pretending to like not be a team. And I was like, no, we weren't pretending. We were really disagreeing. But it was fun. And the kids got the idea, oh, we're going to talk about unity and teamwork.
I love it. So the creative intro is just like starting the class off with a bang. And Brother Gabe Baker has a podcast called Kidman Backstage. If you have not heard it, you need to, because it's fabulous. He talked last time he did a podcast called Sunday School Building Blocks. Very similar to what we do as far as we call them segments. They call them building blocks. It's just the pieces that you kind of build your Sunday school out of. This particular one is called Creative Intro. They call it Dynamic Opening. It's exact same thing. Yeah. It's a dynamic way of opening the classroom, introducing the topic, and handing it off on a high to the next group. Mm-hmm. So if you guys haven't heard his stuff, he's phenomenal. you got to hear it. He's just phenomenal. All right. Then we went to the weekly challenge, Super Kid of the Week, Bree Hinckley.
Okay, so for the weekly challenge, I was walking in late. I don't know what she said the new weekly challenge was. Do you know what that was?
Yes, I do. She said to read the Beatitudes. And so if you could come to a teacher and tell a teacher at least 2 of them. So there were some of the kids grabbing their Bibles out from underneath, trying to start right then. And I was like, no, put your Bibles away, not right now. So that was our newest weekly challenge. So if any of the kids can come and tell you any 2 of them, then they've completed the challenge.
Good. Fabulous. So they did exactly what we mentioned in our last Sunday school training, which was make it achievable, but something they do have to work to do. So pulling out a Bible, reading it, and then taking the time to tell a teacher 2 of them is great. That's perfect. That's exactly, it just gets the effort, and it's not just a gimme. I love it. Did a great job.
And then for the Super Kid of the Week, she actually texted in the chat before Sunday school. She said, when I announce Super Kid of the Week, and as many teachers just rush the stage. And so she announced the Super Kid, and then just all the teachers just came up, just started clapping, cheering. It was really cool. She seemed really excited.
Yeah, she did.
I love it. Did they take a picture? Oh no!
I don't think so.
Our Super Kid board is
the camera is still there, so we can get it next week. But
can we draw a picture of them?
We've been struggling with the camera.
So we're trying to do a little Polaroid thing, and we have a couple of donated ones. One is Trystan, and one is Erica's.
It may be dead.
So we just need to work on getting the camera to work, and then we'll add the pictures.
Okay, if the Polaroid is acting silly, let's just take it on our phone and we'll print it.
Okay, we can do that. Just
worst case, because that's what I had to do for. Anyway, the boy that's up there.
Well, yeah. I definitely think we just need to replace the batteries, at least to try it. But
yeah. Here's what I don't want to have happen: is have a Super Kid board with kids left out.
Yeah.
And then realize that, hey, how come I'm not up there? That's the only thing.
If we have a problem, we just need to write it down somewhere or like text the chat or something.
We'll take it later on if we have to.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have the rules. The Soap by Bob Lee. Did he do anything?
That was funny.
What did he do?
That was funny. It's Brother Lee. It was funny anyways.
You never know what Bob's going to do.
So it's either terrifying or...
Bree was up there finishing up the Super Kid of the Week. Oh, now you remember.
Yes.
And Bob walks up and he's
Tristan's holding her head in her hands. I'm scared. I wasn't there. What happened?
Bree, you make the schedule, right? She goes, yeah. He goes, you have me on cleanup duty. Cleanup duty before, cleanup duty after, and during Sunday school, I sweep before and I sweep after. And he's acting like he's so upset. And soap. You want me to clean with soap, but you don't give me any soap. What am I going to do? It was hilarious.
The part that made me I was had my head in my hands was because he walked up before she announced it. So he was like grabbing her mic and she's like, no. I still need to announce it. And he was like, but I need to clean. And she's like, no. And so they were like fighting over the mic. And I was sitting there, I was like, what in the world? I was like, I hope this is planned, but it wasn't planned.
Bob
But it was
is
so
awesome.
good.
It was really funny.
But that's the stuff that gives character to the lesson.
Yeah.
I love it.
So then
Bob's
they
awesome.
explained the whole
I
situation.
think we need to explain soap real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Can you help us, Leia? What is soap?
So that's what we did when we first introduced soap. Was we walked in like we were cleaning up the classroom with like a janitor with soap and spraying the kids down with water, dusting them off. But soap is our rules, and it's S stands for self, O is for others, A is for authority, and P is for place. So it's just to help, a fun, short way to help the kids remember the things that we should have respect for at all
Yeah.
times.
And what's funny is when he was talking about like cleaning it, you have me on cleanup like before, afterwards. I was like, wait, is he actually on like weekly cleanup? So I pulled my phone out immediately and it wasn't. It was Keith. I was disappointed.
But he actually cleaned the
Yeah.
classroom before, just saying.
Yeah.
He was in there sweeping before class ever started.
He was probably doing that just so he could be like, I cleaned before class, I cleaned during class.
He's committed to the part.
Yeah.
He's committed. He did a great job. That
All
was
right.
fun.
Oh,
Good job, Bob. Then we had Logan do a
next
skit,
part.
and I've heard rumors, whispers of how funny this was.
It was
I wasn't
really
here,
funny.
so what happened?
I was only able to see it for practice because I was backstage.
Oh.
So we were talking about unity, and he said that mainly when you're talking about unity, you're thinking about like the body
Well,
of like
the chapter in the
church
Bible
body.
that talks about if the whole body were an eye, if the whole body
Yeah.
were a foot, that
So
sort of thing.
he was talking about how like the unity of the church, the whole church body, and he said, so he gave us all a script, and we each were a body part. So I was arms, Natalia was the legs.
But you were all hidden behind stage,
Yes,
is that right?
he was just acting it out. We were just the voices of his body parts.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was the arms, Natalia was the legs, Haiti was the back, Bree was the head, which was like the sense, and then Sister Leia was the like narrator. So
Narrator.
she introduced everyone at the beginning, and then right as the legs were introduced, the legs just stopped moving because it did not want to be legs anymore. It didn't want to carry us anymore.
Okay, so let me just kind of set this again. I wasn't there, so I'm asking a question. My understanding is that Logan, that's my son, was on stage acting this out.
So he walked from like kind of like the door, and he walked like up to the stage.
Was he talking at the time?
No, he
No,
said
he did not
he
talk.
said nothing. We were just the voices, his head, and all of the different body parts talking.
Okay, so he walks on stage.
He walks on stage, and as soon as he hits the stage, his legs stop because the legs don't want to carry anyone anymore.
And they were talking
Yes.
at the time?
So Natalia was saying, "I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done." And then the back was saying, "Well, you don't really do anything." Everyone was basically saying, "You don't do anything. I do all the work." Until the
I heard that the leg said, I'm sick of carrying this.
Yes, and so he
carrying
just
all the weight
he
around
just-
here.
yes.
I'm quitting or something.
And
he
they just quit.
dropped.
They gave
so
up.
so Logan just dropped.
Okay.
Then
Fell
the
flat
arms,
on his back.
Then the arms said that he wanted to walk. That the arms wanted to walk. It was hilarious.
Yeah, you
he
missed
tried
that one.
walking on his hands and face planted. And then
That's exactly what I would imagine would happen.
and then he said, and then the back said that the back was just done holding all the weight, and he literally went from standing up to like a dead fall and just slammed on his back.
It was kind of like a dead
Yeah,
fish flop.
I don't. Yeah,
That's what it reminds-
because like then the legs were fighting because the legs don't want to do it, and so all the arms and legs and back and head were just all in like
Legs straight up in the air. He was like,
Yeah, it was
fish
like
flopping.
nobody wanted to do what they were gonna do, so everyone was just rebelling.
So
Until
these kind of skits
Are
can't-
painful.
Well, no, that too.
yeah.
But they either go over big or the kids are confused. Did the kids catch it? Did they understand what was happening?
So I feel like for the most part they did,
Yeah.
but they were so focused on what
What is he doing? Why is he flopping like a
What
fish?
is happening?
to him. If I can say,
Did
it
they
was,
connect the voices with the different?
Yes, as it went on, they started connecting. As I introduced him, I don't know if you've ever heard of like an everyman skit. So it's
No.
one narrator who speaks the part. I've done something similar way back earlier in the year with Job. So one speaker is saying the whole poem or the whole thing, and a person who's going through not speaking, but they're acting out the words that you're
Remember
saying.
when Delaney did the little like detective thing where she
Yes.
was
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Like
Okay.
that. So Logan was the one man acting out all the things that these different body parts were saying. So he was the man doing everything
Yeah.
that the voices were saying. So it was really intriguing to the kids. They were captivated by it. They might have been confused at first, but I
Yeah.
think they started to get it because I did ask questions after to some of the kids. One girl who she actually had $99, by the way, on Sunday. And she said, can I get one more dollar? So I was asking her questions about the lesson. What did we talk about? What did we learn? What happened? And I said, okay, you earned $1 because she knew. She remembered. So the skit did help them remember. They were focused on it.
Yeah, I think what was the best part to me is that we only had seen it during practice. We couldn't see anything. We just heard sound effects. So we just hear flopping and thudding. So we know the part, at one part, it's like where we're all fighting and then the head tells us to stop. So we all stop. We're like, okay, whatever. And then Bree, who is the head, just says, okay, isn't this so much better? We can all work in harmony. We can all work in peace. And she sounded so happy. And then the arms, which is me, was supposed to say, not while I'm around, and then start choking out the body. Like,
Bruh.
like the arms, I don't know what was wrong with the arms.
The end did get a little
A little dark.
dark.
Well, apparently,
Yeah.
if did it end?
No,
He
He
died.
died. The arms choked him out, and then the head was like, "No, let go." And then the legs were like, "No, don't kill us." And then the arms were like, "No, I'd rather die than have to work with you guys." And then like,
So he was choking himself.
and then he just died. And then Keith dragged him off.
He fell off the stage, and I was like, "Oh, I'm the narrator. I have to close this
I should
up."
force him to let me proofread his skits.
then-
He killed himself on stage.
Yeah, and
what
then-
on earth?
and
How
then-
do we explain that to
And then
parents?
Keith dragged him out to the back. And,
Right, I started to, but I couldn't.
It
even.
obviously, for anyone listening, was obviously didn't. Yeah, is it okay? Right.
Okay, I don't think like the kids weren't even focused on that. Honestly, and no kids that I talked to brought that up. They were just laughing because he threw himself around.
So we did finish that skit up by going up, and I explained to them that's why, as the body, we have to work together. We need teamwork. We need to have unity. Work together so we don't,
yeah.
kill what God's doing.
dispose of the work of Jesus. But yeah, it was.
No, it sounds like it was a lot of fun. That's
definitely
cool.
the kids' attention was caught, and I know they at least remembered it, and it was like memorable enough that I don't think they're gonna forget it for a while.
No, that's great. Plan of Salvation chant, Keith.
So he did it. I've never, surprisingly, I don't think I've seen it this way, where he had the like boys and girls do it. So he wasn't really saying anything. He had the girls start it and the boys echo. And he kept doing that. And then he had the boys start it and the girls
Just
echo.
when you think we've done every variation.
I know. And I was
Right?
like,
Never heard
when
that.
he started doing that, I was like, I've never heard this. How has no one done this before?
He actually never even did the chant.
Yeah, he never said anything.
Keith didn't do any of it. So
The
I was
kids
over
know it
with
that well.
They know it that well.
He
I
was
with
just
the girls.
pointing.
Yes.
It was
they did
amazing.
Great. They
The
did
kids,
amazing.
yeah, the kids, they didn't miss a single line. Like all of them were just screaming it.
And the girls won this week. So
Yeah, so
yeah, they were
That
definitely
is so
loud.
exciting.
scoreboard.
The whole point of this is for the kids to know the doctrine, plan of salvation, how you repent, baptize in Jesus' name. One God, His name is Jesus. I just love that the kids have that. I want, this is my dream for like a 30, 40-year-old, one of the kids. Now, my dream is not for them to ever lose out with God. But if that happens, I want them to wake up in the middle of the night with that thing running through their brain.
yeah.
Repent and be baptized in Jesus' name, spoke in tongues, and the Holy Ghost came.
How do I make it back
There's
to
only
God?
one God. There
Let
you go.
it come to their mind.
That's the whole purpose of this thing is to drive it deep.
Because with the reality of this, I'm going to throw this in super quick. The reality is the kids that we pick up, our friends that ride the bus with us, they move.
Yeah.
Sometimes they move far. One of our girls that we dearly love just got involved in children's choir. She was coming regularly to regular services, moves over an hour away. And we were devastated, brokenhearted. And God is just so good. He sees her desire. He put her in a church. that we are in Compton, right there where she's
so cool.
involved and they're loving on her and she gets to be part of the kingdom
Yeah.
of God just like she
Oh,
wants.
that's incredible.
I love
That's
that.
so incredible.
So no matter where they go, they're going to have that in their mind and their
Yeah.
heart.
I remember.
Absolutely. I want them to go to a church. Now, I don't want this, but should they go to a church that doesn't preach the truth and they hear, wait, there's not three gods. There's only one God. This is true. His
right.
name is Jesus through and through.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't convince me.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's exactly
I
what we want.
remember we talking about the kids moving away. I remember we called one of our bus moms for outreach, and she said they were moving away, but they didn't know where yet. And so we were like, oh man. So we called them, and they didn't come for like 2 or 3 weeks. We called them again, and so they said they had already moved, and we were just so sad, but we were so relieved when it turned out they just moved to Orange route. So they still just moved to San Bernardino, and it was just such a relief that they were still like within distance of us being able to get to them.
There's no telling how many times that's happened, both directions, both
Yeah.
moving out to San Bernardino and back.
Yeah.
It's thank God we have a wide enough net we can catch them. Can't
Yeah.
catch them all, but we're doing the best we
But as
can.
long as these go with them and they stay with them
Yeah.
in their mind and their
Yep.
heart, as long as they can, that's
Yeah,
important.
so that brings up another quick point is the plan of salvation is in every lesson that we teach.
Yeah.
Because these kids, sometimes it may be the only time we ever have them in our classroom.
Right.
And so if we miss the opportunity of telling them the plan of salvation, repent and be baptized in Jesus' name. I know this is in the plan of salvation chant, but we also try to emphasize it elsewhere. That's why we have an altar call every Sunday, because this kid may not ever have another chance to pray
Right.
in an apostolic altar. So we try to provide that every Sunday.
And one thing about the how well the kids know it, I think it might be time to introduce the second verse.
It might be.
Because the kids know that first one so well. I honestly don't think that
Yeah. So
we
we
can
initially
get to
wrote it with 2 verses, and the second one just kind of expounds on the first, like repentance, baptize, Holy Ghost, on the one God, Jesus. He's the most apostolic in everything we do, just like Peter told us to. Anyway, so the kids don't know that one very well because I didn't want them to.
just put too much.
I didn't want to water it
overwhelmed.
down. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
But now it's time for a
Yeah.
challenge because they've
Ooh.
got that first one down
especially
so
because
well.
at first there was a point when a lot of the kids knew it, but there was still those ones on the border that didn't really know it. But it's to the point where if there are ones who don't really know it, the other ones are dragging them into it, and they just want to be part of it, and they want to jump into it. And we do it so many times that by the third time we do it, they know some of it at least.
it's part of the culture.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Good.
It's part of just coming. It's who you are. Same thing with altar call. It was
Yeah.
like pulling teeth to get them to the altar the first few weeks,
No,
first month
Yeah.
or two. But now it's just like everybody knows. It's time to
Yeah.
pray.
it's time to pray.
Kids that have never prayed before, never even seen an altar call, are coming to the front and praying.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but many are.
It's just part of Sunday school now.
It's part of Sunday
Yeah.
school.
There's no, it's time.
Incredible. So action songs. Greg did a couple. What
So
did he
the
do?
first one was the obvious one for unity and teamwork, stand together. So we did stand together. We had we brought I think 4 kids up, and then we had them just, and a lot of kids know that song, so it went off really well.
It's our theme song for Kingdom Kids, but it's Stand Together by Kingdom Rock. Is that right?
It's Group VBS, but the album is Kingdom Rock.
Yeah, so if you haven't done that song, it's a really good one. His second song,
The second song was Hine Matov.
oh, wow. So he was jamming on both.
So it
Yes.
was because the part that you really saw the kids going, the when we're together,
nothing can stop. Yeah, yeah.
or the bind us together.
Oh, my word. That's a perfect song.
Yeah,
They
and
loved it.
the
Great
kids-
job, Greg.
Yeah, and
Great
what's cool is
choices.
we had just done it that morning, so the kids were ready for it. When it played again, there was a couple who were like, "We just did this," but by the end of the song, they were just going for it.
That is a perfect song.
Yeah,
It was so good.
Wow. Fabulous. Great job, Greg.
even the part that's in Hebrew, it translates into
What part are we
the
talking about?
translated part where it goes it actually sings it in English.
I don't know the song well enough. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's the "Behold how good and how pleasant it is
Oh,
for
yeah.
brethren to dwell together."
Right.
So it's the whole song is just about unity, and I honestly didn't even realize that until we were in the moment. Even though we had sang it before, I didn't even realize it, and then we were doing it, and I was like, "Wait, this actually works." I thought he was just picking an upbeat song, And then, yeah, it was really good.
No,
That's
he
great.
actually thought about this. This is great.
Amazing.
Mini object lesson, Elena?
Okay, that was cool. She brought out a stack of solo plastic cups
Yeah.
and a cookie sheet. And she was trying to explain to the kids how on your own. And so she steps on the one, she puts one solo cup down. And
A
she
solo cup?
Yes, a solo cup. And she
The soloist
steps
of
on
solo
it
cups.
and crushes it. And then she explains to the kids, but how when we work together and we make a team and we're united, and she puts them in rows and then puts the cookie sheet on top and stands on it. And the kids told her, jump on it. So Elena jumps on it. It did not crack.
Wow.
We were shocked. There was a couple on the outer edges that kind of like bent down, but even the kids were surprised, like, whoa.
I knew it would hold up
Excellent.
like standing on it. I didn't know it would hold up jumping on it.
So that lesson is on Apostolic Sunday School
Yeah.
website. Do you remember recording it, Trystan?
It was in our old kitchen at the
When we lived
complex
here by the
next
church.
door.
So I tried. Let's just say that the cups did not hold under my bulk, so I had to get
jump
my.
on them?
No, I was lightly stepping and they still crashed. Apparently, I needed a much bigger cookie sheet. My little daughter was the perfect one to
I was
record.
like probably 8 or 9.
She was very young.
So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you want to see a tiny Trystan and someone who was afraid, me, to get on that, and so therefore I threw my daughter in it. All right,
It was awesome, though. She did a great job.
and creative
Yeah, it
memory
really
verse,
was.
Sarah Booker.
So that was Natalia.
That was me.
It was you and Natalia
That was me.
from a distance. Was you like social distancing Sunday school?
So I wasn't there, but I had. It was, a lot of people say, the Lord gave me this song. The Lord did not give me this song, I doubt. But it was our memory verse, and I don't remember where I was, but it's 2 Corinthians 5:19, to wit that God was in Christ, reconciling the
So
world
he
unto
gave
himself.
Paul that song, and then you just borrowed it.
No, the tune, the melody. Okay. But anyway, it's kind of a banger. I like it. Okay, to wit that God
say,
was
it
in
was pretty
Christ.
Okay, when it started going into like all the parts,
the
I was
world
like,
to himself,
way.
and not imputing their trespasses unto them, and hath committed unto us the word of reconciliation.
I feel like every one that we have a song for, the kids remember it so much better.
They do.
Because like Acts 1:8, they really remember that one.
Farmer John.
Then they really remember the one that we did when you
Follow peace with all men.
Gonna make us cry.
Don't do
Farmer
that.
John.
don't do that for me.
What?
John. Can we have special guest appearances? Anyway.
Do we? I guess we just break the news to everybody.
It's better
Farmer
than
John, Brother Danny, is not in Sunday school right now. He's pursuing other ministries in the church. He still loves our Sunday school, but he is not a part of our. Well, he is. He
Yes.
can run, but he can't
He's
hide.
just-
We're going to pull him
he's
in on
not-
so many opportunities.
Yes, he's not
So
currently.
special guest appearances
Yes.
by Farmer John could
Special
happen?
guest appearance every Sunday.
Yes, I think it's just the kids just don't know when he's gonna appear, so it's a surprise guest, just somewhere throughout the Sunday school.
And they would love it.
They would.
Yeah, he's in too deep. He can run, but he can't.
Because the other song that I really remember, the Follow Peace with All Men.
He was 12-14.
He was 12-14.
Follow peace
That we
with
didn't
all
win.
men.
It was Brie and Sister Leia's. That's
That one
still
was
that is
fun.
still my favorite song that we've had to this day.
That was cool because it had the choir parts. where
Yes,
the
and then
kids
it was like
broke
in
into-
choir practice, get into choir practice. It was really cool.
That one
fun.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I sang them both right after each other. It's the same tune at the beginning. To wit that God was in Christ, follow peace with all men.
Oh, it is.
And I was like, I'm just so original, aren't I?
It works.
But the end of it does transform a bit. But
It's
yeah, I'm
fine.
not original apparently.
It's fun. The kids don't care. It's fun. They enjoy it.
So I recorded it in 4-part harmony, and I sent that to Sarah, but apparently Natalia did it. Was she
Yes.
sick? I'm assuming.
I
Sarah was?
don't know. She was. She had to take Landry home.
Oh, he was sick.
Yes. So she.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, so Landry was sick, so I sent it to Sarah. I had recorded that when I was in Oklahoma, and I was sitting there grinding it out like at 10 p.m. I had forgot to record it. I mean, I had it, just on my phone, but I was going to record it with multiple parts and I forgot. So Sarah's
That
like,
was fun.
Yeah, it was.
As it kept coming through, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
there's
I know.
another one.
I thought it was going to be like 3 parts because that's just like what it usually is. And so I was like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, they're probably going to play it again. And then the 4th came on. I was like, wait, you can do that?
And there it goes again.
Yeah. And then I like got through the 4 parts. And then Natalia was like, okay, let's do it again. And then the kids were singing along the 2nd time.
Yes,
that's
they
awesome.
were.
It was so cool.
Very cool. And the final lesson. This happens to be our very own Leaya Thomas did the final lesson. What did we do? What did we do when I wasn't there?
We talked about unity. We maybe need to talk about teamwork. No.
We're a team, right? Teamwork,
We're a
unity.
team.
What did we teach?
Oh.
We taught on unity. We did.
Can we expound on how?
Let's see, Trystan. What did we talked about unity because that's right. That's what I did.
I was like,
I'm
isn't
so
this
good.
your
What is going on right now?
Short-term memory. So I had.
Were you serious? You didn't remember you taught it?
I was so confused. I was like, are you
I
seriously
thought you were
asking
leading
me?
up to a punchline.
I don't know. I was like, are you seriously asking me? Or is this like, am I supposed to say something stupid? Like, I don't
forgot. Okay, anyways, now that that's out. So I had all the teachers, I did a tug of war.
Yes.
So I
That's
brought
right.
out,
You put it in the chat.
I
Okay.
did. I brought out a rope.
Yeah.
We'll just call it a rope.
You may have to replace some wires in the back.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
So
This
continue.
is a microphone cord.
I don't know.
it wasn't.
No,
It was some
no.
random
It's a
cord I
speaker
found in the back because we had no
I think it was a
ropes.
speaker cord. It's okay though.
No, but
it wasn't in
nobody
If
use.
it was in a
it.
box, it's
It
been there
wasn't in
forever.
use.
So
You're fine. Yeah, it's fine.
it
I
deserved
packed it
its
back there
fate.
3 years ago. Anyways, so we brought out a rope, and I had all the teachers on one side, and I was on the other. And if you will, I was kind of playing the devil, and they were the church. And so I'm pulling, and they're apathetic. They're not paying attention. They're not really holding it. One's on one side, one's on the other. They're kind of bickering with each other. They're facing different directions. Some are holding it, some are not. Some are just kind of like, oh, whatever, it's here. And so there was no unity. They weren't working together as a team. They weren't, encouraging each other. They weren't helping each other. And I was pulling, and as I'm pulling, I'm pulling the rope away from them, pulling them closer towards me, explaining that's how the devil's going to try and attack us as a church body, because I wanted them to understand unity as a church. And so I'm pulling and explaining different things that will come in: anger, bitterness, strife. You'll be upset about this. You'll get offended by this. They'll hurt your feelings. And then I had instructed the teachers at a certain point when I change it, the tune of it, I want you guys to get a hold of the rope and then start not pulling necessarily, but at first just kind of getting a hold of it and not let the devil take any more of your rope.
Ooh, that is so good.
And so
oh, my word.
As I kept talking, not only did they get a hold of it, then they all faced the same direction. They were all on the same team. Then they started gaining ground. And it was actually kind of cool. I didn't really expect it to turn out this way, but I am pulling with everything in me, and they're pulling together one by one, pulling. And as I'm talking, I'm explaining this is how as a church we can overcome the devil and we can take back that ground that we've lost. And they're literally pulling me across the room as I'm explaining it to the kids. I felt like it was a really good visual for the kids to see how when you work as a team, you can bring back and gain back that ground, and you can overcome these things.
Yeah, and when we had all kind of dropped it, we all kind of took a few steps forward, so we were more towards the center of the room. And by the end of it, we had pulled it all the way to where we were standing over kind of where the piano is. So it definitely had looked like the whole take back what we had and take more.
And this is on the heels of when we're together, nothing can stop the kingdom of God from seeing the Bible.
It was
so good.
Yeah, it flowed into it really good.
So then we
that's
closed
awesome,
it out
Leaya.
with, I need you to survive.
Yes.
And I told the kids.
You're my brother, you're my sister. That one. Take me by the hand. Together we will work until he comes.
No.
That one?
I need you to survive.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that
I'm
one.
sorry.
And I explained to the kids, I said, I know I'm an adult. I'm one of your teachers, but I need you. I need you in the church. And I feel like it kind of flowed a lot with what Pastor taught tonight.
Yeah.
That that tension. The kingdom of God's going to move on anyways, but we need you. We need you. You're an integral part of the church, of the kingdom of God. And so I explained to the kids, I need you. Not just you need me as a teacher, but I need you. I need you to pray for me, pray with me. I need you in the church. You can go places I can never go.
Ooh, that is so good.
So then we had the kids come up to pray, and we played that song. And I have a couple of my friends. Oh, so cute. They came up and were praying with me.
Yeah, you saw
so sweet.
every teacher that was like in there. You saw kids like latched on to them. Like it was a couple of the boys that have been on Blue Bus. Those
With
3
Ruben.
boys. So actually, no, those were the other ones that were with Ruben. The 3 boys and the 2 girls. That were all
Yes,
together.
yes.
So the 2 girls were on the other side. The 3 boys. The youngest one was kind of just running off, but the 2 other boys, I had been sitting with the middle boy, like during the thing, because Darren wasn't there, so he wanted somebody that he knew to sit by him. And then when I went up there, he like was holding on to me, and then the oldest one came over and he was on my other side, and then like the middle one, just looked up at me. He just kept staring at me, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like. I don't want to go anywhere right now. And I was like, okay, you don't have to. And he's like, no, like ever. I'm just going to stay here. I was like, okay, you can stay here, I guess.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That's powerful. It really is.
Yeah.
What you just said about these kids will, or I don't know how you phrase this just now, but these kids will reach people we can never reach.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own people that they're in contact with, their own relationships, their own things that we need you.
Right.
We need every single one of them. Oh man, that's so good. Wow, what a Sunday.
It was really good.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, this podcast is just over an hour.
Oh, wow.
Every time I think.
Wow. I thought we were like 40 minutes, 45 minutes maybe, like around there.
No, I could tell it was getting on, but at the beginning I would have bet that we had 20 minutes max.
It's me, Tristan. I talk too much.
Yes.
I get it from Kristen.
If we broke down this
I
podcast,
don't know anybody.
it would be like 75+% of my mouth, and so I'm the one that does
I
this.
feel like we need those
apologize.
stats at some point. Like
No.
how, like on every video, what
Never
percent is
will
what
happen.
person.
No, don't break it down. Don't do it.
She's like, I'm really let's just not.
One more plug for Kidman Backstage. If you haven't heard that podcast for the Gay Baker, you can find it on all the platforms. Growing Up with Papa, brother Jason Ashley, Kidsman U, Tyler Hodge. What are some others? Are there any others? That's probably the main ones that are active right now. I think there's some that are kind
there
of
were
dormant.
some that were mentioned in that big group chat. I just don't know if they're all active.
Anyway, the Apostolic Podcast Network is available. It's just a list of all the podcasts, including the ones I mentioned. If you go to apostolicsundaySchool.com/APN, you can find all those. But I think we're done. Is that it? Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye. Love y'all.